Being born as a human is considered as the greatest blessing that anyone can wish for. It's my birthday today. Yeah, and this is probably the first time I'm actually telling everyone and then sharing that it's my birthday. Why? It's a very important day. For each and every one of us, the day we are born is the day we have to think as to why we are born. Each and every one of us are born for a purpose. Each and every one of us are born to fulfill a cause that was not done by us, or the ones we had not completed in the previous life, as a result of which we are born here, and it's time for us in this life to fulfill it, finish it, and then go ahead. Each one of us, once we come out from our mother's womb, our entry into the Mother Earth, our entry into the external environment starts with a cry. We come into existence by making noise. We leave the existence by making a lot of noise. Some people make more noise than you can ever think of. But during this process of birth, what do you do? Where do you reach? Whom do you serve is very, very important. I have never talked about my, the day of birth. And I think it's time for me to do that, because I think by sharing my insights, it'll help a lot of you to have a new perspective about what is what. Fulfilling each and every desires of yours that comes to your mind because of the sense of taste, touch, smell, hearing, and sight is a never-ending process. Fulfilling the desires is a never-ending process. What will happen? It leads to more confusion and chaos. I have experienced this. You have experienced this. Each and every individual who is alive on this planet Earth has experienced this. And yet we fall for this. Don't you think it's high time we come out of this? I think the last 1.5 years, each and every one of us have experienced an overflow and overwhelming emotions, have developed new insight about relationships, have developed new insight about oneself. We have started to think what is what, because all these days we've been running non-stop against one or the other pursuit of ours, never even breaking our head, taking a break and thinking what the other person or people around you are feeling or how they're responding. The time has taught us the lesson. The pause that we've had in the last 1.5 years or 2 years because of the pandemic has resulted in a huge change within us. We became comfortable with whatever we had. We never thought beyond whatever we had. Becoming comfortable and not thinking, not growing is the biggest curse that we applied on ourselves, or that we brought on our own head. We stopped growing, we stopped reading, we stopped studying, we stopped learning new things. Why? One simple reason. We resisted change. We said no to a lot of things, even when deep down we knew that we had to do this to go to the next step. Even I did the same thing. Pandemic is not the reason, where we are today. We are the only reason where we are today. If you're happy, you are responsible for it. If you're miserable, if you're sad, you're responsible for it. External situations come and go, but you don't change. If you are changing because of the situation, the circumstances, that's happening in your life or around the people around you, that means you're not strong enough. I was at one of my lowest points the last 1.5 years. Why? Because I was weak. It's as simple as that. You have to study, you have to analyze what's going on inside you, what's going on in the external world, because you're part of the world still. I was a part of society, but then I decided to stay completely detached and disconnected from it. Doesn't work like that. But as I said, now I had to realign myself, rethink in spite of whatever I had done all over, over the last one and a half decades of the practice and the teachings and the wisdom that I had. See, I felt like, okay, I think a sense of arrogance starts to come in. And what happens? The nature teaches you the lesson of what? What is the lesson? The lesson of being humble. And I think that is something I had missed out. It's been a very, very eventful journey so far. And I think it's very important that each and every one of us have to be thankful, and we have to show our gratitude towards who we are and what we are today. Most of us stay away from this. Cribbing and crying has become a habit these days. You'd rather blame someone and point at someone rather than correcting yourself. This is really bad. I've seen this a lot these days, and it's high time all of us come out of this, including myself. The birth of life is something really amazing. And as I said, I wanted to talk about this, on the day I am born. It's very, very important that we stay true to who we are. I've had a lot of students of mine, a lot of friends of mine asking, what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life, the purpose of birth is for you to find out what is the purpose. That is the purpose. Each and every one of us are born for a particular cause. I'm very honest with you. I am born for a particular cause. You are born for a particular cause. Each and every one of you who are listening to this have a reason for which you are born, and you have to fulfill it. Since you aren't doing this, since you're moving away from your own true nature and doing something else that doesn't resonate with who you are on the inside, that is what is causing you the misery that you are imposing on yourself. The discomfort that you feel is because you're going against your nature. When you do those activities, those actions, when you read those things which is in tune with your nature, you feel happy. You feel so happy and content, and this contentment sets within you to such an extent, you stop thinking, you stop breaking your head with respect to anything that's happening around you. Contentment doesn't come from people who are around you. Contentment doesn't come from the job that you do. Contentment doesn't come because of expecting some kind of love from the other person. Contentment, the completeness comes only by you connecting to your own true nature. And it's not that easy. It's very easy for me to share this, but even for me, it took years and years. The kind of questions that I had when I was a kid, it's unimaginable. People would have thought that I have gone mad if I had shared the kind of questions that I had when I was in school or when I was in, people won't understand those things. Each and every one of us are unique. The very purpose of our birth, the very purpose of we being born on this planet Earth is for us to stay true to who we are. If we do not stay true to who we are, if we don't fulfill the tasks that we know deep down that we have to do, what happens? Life becomes miserable. A lot of you ask, why do I wear, white and white? It resonates what's inside me. How you think, what you speak is what you wear. It's as simple as that. When you are truly connected and truly understand what your inside nature is, you start to reflect that through your outwardly actions, from the clothings that you wear, from the actions that you do, from the people whom you meet, to the kind of conversations that you had. I completely agree. Even I was very arrogant, very very arrogant. I think the pandemic came as a curse and as a blessing. And the thing is, we keep feeding our ego to such an extent, we don't even realize that ego has eaten up inside out completely. We keep feeding ourselves. We keep, imagining this, what do you say? What can I say? You create this imaginary person about yourself. You create your own persona and you start feeding that person inside you. And what happens once this person starts to become strong? He dominates you or she dominates you. And the result of which, who you truly are is lost. Birth is a birth is a very, very, amazing thing. It's something that you have to cherish, and you have to live it to the fullest. And most importantly, you have to feel alive when you live. See, if you aren't feeling alive, if you feel like you're dead on the inside, start thinking about what exactly you're doing. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. You may find the answer in 1 year or 2 years or in 10 years. It doesn't matter. At least you'll find an answer. Or at least there'll be some sense of satisfaction inside you. Why? Because you're on the journey of finding the answers. How? Because you know the questions and now you are in the pursuit of answers. It is very, very important. Life changes, your perception about things changes. I've never been this happy, about sharing the purpose of my birth. It's very nice. About 10, 12 years, 15 years ago, 15 years ago, I realized what I wanted to do. It was just yoga. But I found a lot of answers to the questions by reading, practicing, experiencing, and sharing whatever I could learn through yoga. Just 1 hour of practice that started when I was 16, then turned into something else. I never knew that I would study Sanskrit. I never knew that I'd study the Yoga Sutras. I never knew that I would spend hours together studying the Vedanta. No. You have to trust the process. You have to trust yourself. And most importantly, you have to do things that make you feel one with oneself. Never do something just to please someone. This day, sometimes maybe you have to do, but most of the actions that you indulge yourself in, deep down you will get a call with a yes or a no. Start responding more towards the yes and forget about the no. Each and every action of yours takes you closer to who you are. If you're not enjoying your own presence, if you're not enjoying who you are, it's time to start thinking about it. It doesn't mean that you have to end your life or lead this miserable life. No. Worries, problems, these are all very, very important. For what? For growth. The kind of problems each and every one of us face, it's different. It's different. It's unique. Each of us are different. Each of us come from a completely different background. Each of us have a completely different mindset. We have a different set of experiences that we've had, over the years that we have lived. We have people around us who influence us, who we are, how we think, and what we do, and where we wish to be. That is why it is very, very important that you surround yourself with people who actually make you feel free and who actually make you feel complete. You'd rather stay alone than, be with wrong people. The purpose of your life becomes more meaningful and you'll start developing more confidence with respect to what your purpose is when you are with people who have this clarity themselves. Not everyone is born with this. It takes time, it takes years. Even a lot of things that I have learned comes from my teachers. And today I'm going to talk about one man who changed the course of my life completely. This was back in 2010 when I heard the lectures of Swami Vivekananda for the first time in my life. I had never known who Swami Vivekananda was. And up until this day, I have never spoken about Swami Vivekananda at all because I felt like I was not fit to talk about him. This was 2010. It's about 12 years ago. The first time I heard about this man, the greatest monk that I've ever heard of. I attended 12-hour lecture. This was in July 2010. It completely changed the course of my life. And whatever I am today is everything because of him and his teachers. I'm very proud to say that I'm a devotee, a follower of Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Shardama. We can gain clarity only when we know, understand, and start reading about the people who have this. It doesn't come to us by nature. If it does come to you by nature, then very good. You have the hand of God on you, or you're blessed with that. Or it has to come from your parents, who are the first line of information for you, and this has to be taught from a very young age. If not, it's up to us. We have the freedom to search, choose whomever we want. It's just that you have to be careful with the choices that you make. Bad choices, you'll end up somewhere else. Right choices, you grow way beyond your imagination. You have to start thinking about this. What is it you want? This may be the day that I am born, but sharing this message with you, I want all of you to be one with oneself and to feel that you're reborn. And the day you are born, the date on which you are born is not the only day you have to feel like, however you feel on your, the day of your birth. Every day you open your eyes, when you wake up from the bed, you have to feel like you're reborn. There has to be a new wave of energy within you each and every single day. Each and every day of yours is the day you have to start feeling that you're born again and again. Every day we go to bed, we close our eyes, we become one with everything that is there around us. And every day we open our eyes the next morning, you feel alive, you're a new person altogether. Stop carrying the baggage and the dirt that you have from the previous day when you go to bed. End that there itself. The next morning when you wake up, you feel alive. The greatest of the greatest lessons comes through experience, comes through people who have actually experienced it. Finding the true purpose of where you are, knowing where you are, knowing why you are where you are is very, very important. All of us have this thing in mind that we have to go to some other place, we have to be with someone else, we have to do something else in order to, feel proud about ourselves. No, not exactly. Stay true to your nature. But if this is your true nature, well and good, go ahead. Spend time in understanding yourself. Spend time in knowing yourself. And be with people who have gained this clarity in their own life. And then see for yourself how your life is going to change. The reason I'm sharing all this is I just want to thank from the bottom of my heart each and every one of you who has helped me to become what I am today. All the people who have hated me, all the people who have showered their blessings on me, each and every one of you who've had the patience to bear with my arrogance and my anger over the years. And all my students out there, I am forever in debt to whatever, you guys have done to me. I'll never forget this. I just want to say one last thing. A new phase of life begins for me, you, and everyone now. A new phase of life, a new phase of growth begins for Harsha Yoga also. I'm going to do something that's going to change all your lives, that's going to change my life. And I am willing to serve, willing to share to whatever extent I can. Thanks a lot. I hope this, day brings a kind of smile within you. And please do let me know how you felt in the comments below. I really look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a great day. Take care.